people think you are losing by not having the fanciest car or nicest house and so on. You are not. People are just not realizing what compound growth looks like. Today, we're going to talk about how do you save in order to invest in real estate syndications. I have 5 tips. The first tip is a philosophical point. Real estate success is directly proportional to sacrifice. I'll give you my personal example. When I came back to Seattle from the Bay Area, I was a staff engineer at Lyft, so I was making a lot. Instead of buying a house in Bellevue or South Union in Seattle area where I want to live, I bought a 5-bedroom house in an upcoming neighborhood where I live with 4 roommates. My rent is about $800. I could have easily afforded living any place in Seattle. To me, I think that could be considered as sacrifice. And I do that so that I can save 90 to 95% of my income to buy more houses. And sure enough, the next 5 years, I end up buying 7 single families in Seattle before I go into real estate syndication. Real estate is this very interesting game where people think you are losing by not having the fanciest car or nicest house and so on. You are not. People are just not realizing what compound growth looks like. And doing so usually means that what you do at the beginning is usually not popular. Real estate success is directly proportional to the amount of sacrifice that you're willing to make. Tip number 2 is to understand what is a first order effect and what is an nth order effect. Imagine that the savings rate can be expressed as a polynomial. Ax to the third power plus bx to the second power plus cx. The one that has the most power is called the first order effect. And that generally plays the most important role or has the most impact on your savings capability. Whereas the nth order effect is the most negligible. What a lot of people do is they don't pay attention to the thing that makes the most difference. Instead, they nickel and dime on the things that don't matter. To give you an example, in my case, I live for $800 a month. That's my effective rent. If I get a 1-bedroom in downtown Bellevue, that is probably at least $3,000 even at that time. That's a difference of $2,200. That is a first order effect. I get to save $2,200 a month. Someone will say, I want to save money, so I'm not gonna drink lattes because lattes are $5 a cup. And if I drink it every weekday, that's a lot of money. So let's do some math. I save $2,200 a month on rent by living frugally and making a sacrifice to live with housemates. Say I save $5 on lattes every day. 300 weekdays is about $1,500 a year. Essentially, I make up for the entire year of lattes by living frugally for 1 month. Let's take the fact that you are saving $2,200 a month. Suppose that you just put it in a very bare savings account. $2,200 times 12, that's about $30,000 a year. Times 5, that's $150,000. $150K is created out of thin air that you engender. Why is that important? That's because if you don't have that money, then you have to do this all over again for another 5 years. Or you have to borrow someone else's money and you all of a sudden will be trapped in this rat race. When you have the money and when you have this savings, you can take risks. You can start your own company, work at a startup where you get paid a lower salary, but you have more upside to the equity. You can travel around the world to find what is your true passion in life. Tip number 3 is not to get a fancy car. I have a friend that when they first graduated and when they get their first paycheck, very first paycheck, they went out and put down the down payment for a BMW 3 Series. There's nothing wrong with BMW 3 Series. In fact, you should enjoy your life and get one when you are 6-7 years after graduation and you are moderately successful. But it's not a great idea to get it as soon as you get your first paycheck when you first graduated. Because the car obviously is a depreciating asset. When you put yourself in a position to keep losing money every month, it makes it so much harder to grow that bank account. I actually didn't have a car for almost a year. Then I got a Honda Civic Coupe. I paid $7,000, and then 2 years after that, I got a Toyota Camry. That was 2013. Fast forward to 2019, I got a Tesla Model S. At that point, I was about 31 years old. So grind in your 20s so you can enjoy your life in your 30s. Tip number 4 is don't get into debt. Make it an invariant in your life to not pay any credit card debt. If you are paying credit card debt, don't get too discouraged, but look at tip number 2 and 3, which is pay attention to your biggest expenses, which are usually your housing and your car payments. Tip number 5 is to keep track of your expenses. I create a spreadsheet where I have multiple sheets within that Google Sheet. And for each sheet is a month. And within each sheet, I only have 5 to 6 columns. Leisure, necessity, housing expenses, food and meals, vacation or entertainment, and then optional 6 column for donations, charities, and giving. The goal is at the end of each month, you are going to type out all your expenses line by line. Don't use a software like Mint or whatever. And you might say, wow, I have so much expenses, this will take forever. That's the point. You will create awareness. Awareness is important. Success begins with awareness. Good luck on your financial freedom journey. Thank you.